All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Deerassic at Home. Again, today I got my sweatpants on, got chicken in the crock pot, I've got the dishwasher running. If I'd been thinking, I wouldn't have turned that on, so didn't have to hear that in the background. I've got a very hungry looking doggy with all this food on the counter. He is looking up, hoping to get some of it, but just trying to live my best life here, stuck at home. So today we are going to make homemade bird feeders, okay? And I'm going to show you a couple easy ways to make very, very simple bird feeders. You can find most of this stuff in your house. You don't have to have bird seed. You don't have to have a fancy feeder to be able to do it. It's going to get a nice kind of crafty type activity going for you inside. And then obviously being safe where you go outside, just staying in your yard and stuff like that. Be able to get you outside for at least a little bit, and be able to see some of the birds that you might have in your area that you can see in your backyard, some that you might not see normally if you didn't have a bird feeder out. So the first feeder I'm going to show you is the more simple one. It is something that I'm sure everybody has some sort of version of it at their house, and that is the string bird feeder. Okay, and that's just putting some of these food items on a piece of string. I do a lot of fishing, so I happen to have some fishing line here at home. You can use any sort of string. It could be yarn, anything like that, anything that you're going to be able to put this food and kind of channel it on there. So another thing you're going to need, I'm sure everybody has some sort of version of this, is a toothpick. If you don't have that, maybe some sort of like safety pin, something like that. That is to poke the holes in the different food items to be able to run them down your bird feeder necklace, if you will. So you can see some of the food items I got here. I've got them all kind of poured out onto a plate. Let you guys see that a little bit closer there. But that way, you know, I'm not just keep reaching back into the boxes and bags and stuff, and we can still eat that no problem later on. So what I've got is I've got some popcorn, bread. I used the end of a bread loaf. I cheated a little bit, and veggie straws, they work really, really well. They're already kind of hollowed out in the center. Some cereal. Okay, so I've got some Captain Crunch on here. That works pretty good. Croutons for like on your salad. Those can work okay. Those are a little bit tougher to get the holes in without breaking them completely in half. But anything, you know, as far as like grain-wise, anything that's in that bottom part of your food pyramid, that's the stuff that birds really, really like. So your grains, your cereals, anything like that. So that's pretty much all what I've got on my plate. That's what the birds are really, really gonna like. So all I did was cut my piece of string, okay? And to make it easier, you can actually tape one end down to a flat surface table. I'm just using the kitchen island here, and that way it's easier to hold the one end to slide the stuff down. Then you're just going to take your toothpick and say, I want to do this piece of popcorn here, and I'm going to just carefully make a little hole in the center of it. Then I'm going to take my piece of string, in this case fishing line, and I'm just going to feed it on there, and that's how you're going to make your necklace pretty easily. So again, that's the first one, and you can see this. I'll even bring this up closer to where you can see kind of the finished product there, what it's supposed to look like. I used duct tape as a stopper, and also to kind of tape the two ends together so it's going to stay together and intact for me. All right, so the next feeder that we're going to do is the pine cone feeder. So I have the luxury, I have two big Norway pine trees in my backyard, and they give us these nice, awesome, giant pine cones all year round. And this is kind of a weird time of the year for them, so they're not all spread out and fancy looking, so it's a little bit narrow, but it's still going to work just the same. If you can find a pine cone or something similar like that to use for this, you know, I'm sure the same concept would work for, say, like a paper towel roll, toilet paper roll if you got any left at the house. Those could work good just the same. You'll need another piece of string So again, I'm using my fishing line. I've already tied it around the pine cone itself so it's not going anywhere, and that way I've got my line to be able to tie it up in a tree to be able to hang it later. So next thing I need is I've got some peanuts, I've got some sunflower seeds, and the most important thing that you need is peanut butter. And then you're going to need a spoon to be able to get that out. And all you're going to do, and I'll show you guys this demonstration how you're going to do this one, but you're going to scoop some peanut butter out, and you're going to basically just rub it all over your pine cone. Okay. Now, just like the community nacho cheese fountain at a party, you don't want to double dip into your peanut butter jar. So make sure you get a big enough scoop on the first go round to spread your peanut butter over the entire thing. Okay, so I got that coated really, really good, and I've already got, you can kind of see there, my other peanuts and sunflower seeds already on the plate here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my pine cone and just kind of roll it. Okay, I'm rolling it in the seeds, in the sunflower seeds, in the nuts, and all that stuff. And actually kind of pressing down works pretty good too. I'm just rolling that all up. And that stuff is sticking to my pine cone, to my peanut butter. And now, if I can not drop too much of it here in the kitchen and my wife get mad at me, but I'll bring this over so you guys can see it. So there is my finished pine cone feeder. All right, so now you guys can see, got a bird's eye view here. There's a little dad humor for you, at least for the parents. But bird's eye view of my two bird feeders. Okay. It's not one to focus on that one, but there they are. They're hanging in this maple here. Pick this maple, it's low hanging. I could reach it pretty easy. If you need your parents' help to hang them up, please do that. Don't just try and go out and do it yourself. But just hung it in this maple because it's an easy one for birds to perch on and then be able to get to the feeders from the branches super easy. So we're gonna go back inside here and see if we can see some birds. All right, so now we're back inside. I'm looking through the bedroom window here, and I got a good view of my two bird feeders, and now it's just pretty much a waiting game. Now it could be, a few minutes, could be a few hours, could be not till tomorrow till I see some birds using my bird feeders, but just kind of keep checking on them, keep an eye on yours, and I want to see what birds you guys get coming to your bird feeders. If you got a question of what type of bird it is, it's mainly going to be songbirds, things like cardinals and blue jays and robins and different little birds like that, and sparrows and all kinds. You might get some cool ones like an oriole or different things like that. You might even get things like squirrels. You might get a gray squirrel, fox squirrel. In town there's a lot of black squirrels, possibly a red squirrel, chipmunks, different things like that. So you never know what's gonna show up. So just kind of keep your eyes on them. We got some beautiful days coming up. It's beautiful out today, so just kind of keep checking on them, and love to see what you guys find. So that's all I have for today, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.